All right, hello there. So this is gonna be a very awkward stream. Awkward because I'm still working right now. But yeah, I don't get how this works either. But I was given a 3.5 hour break, so at least I can get something done today. I wasn't gonna stream at all today because I come to find out at 5:30 in the morning they had a 24-hour shift today, which kind of sucks because I can't do anything. But I was given a break, so this is how I spend my breaks. We'll work on YouTube stuff. But since I uploaded that video yesterday, we can now focus on getting this one out because this will be the next horror-themed video that's coming out. But yeah. Long story short, I have a 24-hour shift today, 5:30 in the morning till 5:30 in the morning tomorrow morning. It's currently 6:41 at night. I got to be back at work by 10 o'clock. So let's get things done. All right, but if I remember correctly, we were trying to get at least 20 sections done before we get to the case study. So Safe No More, which again got released yesterday, was about a 30-minute video with like 15 sections. So I'm pushing for at least an hour for this, probably. So we need one more section and a penultimate section, then we should be good to go to get to the case studies. All right, so let's see. We talked about the spaces that turn against you, the weight of silence, memory and distorted perception, helplessness, mental repercussions and internal companions, loneliness and location, self in isolation, digital isolation, echoes of humanity, time in isolation, the comfort of madness, grief, the tie-ins, we don't have to worry about that. False companions and deceptive signals, isolation and transformation, the body in isolation, and the slow burn of anticipation. We didn't talk about your sanity at all. So yeah, let's talk about sanity. Which, well, besides Resident Evil 4, because Leon's pretty much sane throughout both games, this is definitely a Silent Hill F and FNAF 1 for sure. Well, more so Silent Hill F. Like, I'm pretty sure Cassie is in a relatively good state of mind for the most part. Okay, so what should we call this? Right. And again, I do kind of apologize for this. I do apologize actually, but I found out literally like at 5:30 in the morning that I had this shift today, and I'm like, oh fuck. Alright. But it's good because I started another playthrough of Silent Hill F, so I'm like, hey, alright, let's go. So it's all good. So let's call this sanity. The fragility of sanity will be cute tonight. I'm looking at my alcohol flask. I can't drink because I'm still in uniform right now. Believe it or not, I'm actually in my uniform. I'm just wearing a jacket because it's freezing in here. It would be very bad if I got caught drinking while in uniform. All right. So the fragility of sanity. So when we are isolated, our mental state does kind of go downhill to the extreme. Like an extreme example of that is you literally just talking to yourself, pretending people are there that don't exist. Like you start going insane the more you stay isolated. So, how do I want to wear this? Oh. Isolation. Wears down perception. Isolation wears down perception. Because we're social creatures. We need connection with people. The more we're alone, the more our minds start filling in the gaps or the void. Yeah, because we're social creatures at the end of the day. So, about human connection. No, actually contact. Without human contact, the mind starts filling in the mind starts filling in the void. For example, we're listening to the classic Resident Evil themes. For example, creating voices, which we've touched upon. We touched upon it already, but we're just using this as an example. So creating voices, the false companion. Creating voices, presences that don't exist, or presences in general. I'm sorry, I'm literally just thinking about this song right now. It's because this puzzle, the bee hook puzzle in Remake, makes no sense. So that bee was alive the entire time? Alright, back to this. For example, creating voices, presences, and patterns that may not exist. That may not exist. So isolation wears down perception. Without human contact, the mind starts filling in the void. For example, creating voices, presences, and patterns that may not exist, which horror always capitalizes on. Horror weaponizes this a lot. Like every Saw movie. Game over. Oh shit, I'm locked in this room. Okay, this is gonna be a very painful, lonely death. Horror weaponizes this vulnerability. And as I mentioned before, my old the old format that I do on these videos, when I was able to actually get horror movie sources, I'm bad with horror. Like I play a lot of horror games, and I love horror movies, but I like tasteful horror, not like, god damn, that's a lot of blood and guts everywhere. Not that type of horror. Like, I hate gore. Horror weaponizes this vulnerability. Turning loneliness, I cannot spell, into a loop of fear. And imagination. You start going crazy. Somewhere in a different universe, there's a door about to be opened. Oh, it's the full Moonlight Sonata. Horror weaponizes his vulnerability, turning loneliness into a loop of fear and imagination. There's a lot more we can do with this. Games often, you see the mental collapse like in real time, like it's externalized. Games often show, no, they often externalize. Look at James Sunderland's mental collapse. His mental collapse. Get the water ending in Silent Hill 2 remake. Games often externalize mental collapse. Mental collapse. Resident Evil 1.5 music. I love 1.5 just because every song, well, not every song, a good chunk of their songs are just weird rehashes / remixes of Birkin's theme. Often externalize mental collapse via distorted Distorted images. Erratic sounds. Play any visual novel, and you'll definitely get those erratic sounds. Oh, and the usage of the unreliable narrator. And these are the Dark Descent. Isn't that right, Daniel? What more can we do here? I was honestly trying to get at least 30 minutes of this, the usual 30 minutes. Then I'll take a break. I could do sprite animation for like an hour. Then I definitely gotta get back to work. But luckily, we were able to stream today. Thank God I was given this 3.5-hour break. But still got 12 more hours of this shift. Then as soon as I get home at 5:30 in the morning, I'll sleep forever. Then at least I have the day off. That's the good thing about it. You work 24 hours and you get the following day off. And I still don't have any information on this deployment, which is in 14 days. We'll find out if I'm staying here or if I'm going. If I'm going, things have to change. I can't be doing these streams like that anymore because obviously I can't jeopardize the mission by streaming to YouTube. I can still release videos though, but I can't do these streams. But if I'm on rear D, I'll still be here. So I'll be able to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm just the rear guard. So I'll find out in the next week or so, then YouTube will be the first people to know. So horror weaponizes this vulnerability, turning loneliness into a loop of fear and imagination. Games often externalize mental collapse via distorted images and erratic sounds and the usage of the unreliable narrator. And Daniel. That's just... Alright, so the player, they begin to question. Well, yeah, it's kind of extreme. Like, you don't question your sanity. I don't think people are crazy most of the time. So the player begins to question not just the game world, Again, I'm kind of pushing it here, but themselves. Mirroring the characters they guide. So in isolation. What am I doing? Okay. Okay. Isolation wears down perception. Without human contact, the mind starts filling in the void. For example, creating voices, presences, and patterns that may not exist. Excuse me. Horror weaponizes his vulnerability, turning loneliness into a loop of fear and imagination. Games often externalize mental collapse via distorted images, erratic sounds, and the usage of the unreliable animator. Daniel. The player begins to question not just the gamer, but themselves. Again, don't dig too deep into this one. Mirrors the characters they guide. Mirroring the characters they guide. In isolation, horror becomes self-inflicted. Yeah. Okay. Section 20. The final section before we've actually finally get to these case studies. Now, what do I want to do here? We need to make sure this is a good penultimate section. Alright, again, I gotta go do this one more time. Let's see. Spaces that turn against you, the weight of silence, memory and distorted perception, helplessness, mental repercussions and eternal companions, loneliness and location. Pointless jab at this. Leon and Claire only interact a couple of times in Two-Make. I'm just saying. Two-Make is awesome, but it was just that one awkward scene where they were flirting outside the door, outside the cage door in the rain, when the zombies are getting up. They don't even see each other in the stars room. Like, hey, all right. I love Two-Make, but man, I really wish Leon and Claire interacted more with each other. P1 and P2. All right, anyways, Section 7, Self and Isolation. Section 8, Digital Isolation. Section 9, Echoes of Humanity. Section 10, Time and Isolation. Section 11, The Comfort of Madness. We don't have to worry about the myth tie-ins. Section 15, False Companions and Deceptive Signals. Section 16, Isolation and Transformation. Section 17, The Body in Isolation. Section 18, The Slow Burn of Anticipation. Section 19, The Fragility of Sanity. Fuck. I need a good final section. Wait a minute. How? Wait. What we use? We can use isolation as a storytelling mechanism, sort of. Yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, that probably might work. Section 20. I don't think this is a good penultimate section, though. Well, ultimate section, but maybe we can get this to work. Isolation. Nothing. I can hear the spark shot right now in OG RE2 or Leon's upgraded shotgun. Oh my god, my speakers just blew up. Spark shot sucks, but damn, that shit's cool. And obviously, the recoil on that shotgun is legendary. Isolation as a storytelling mechanism. Isolation isn't just a mechanic. Or isolation isn't just a mechanic in a horror setting. It's a narrative tool. It's a narrative tool. Cut content. Shout out to Marshall and Yard. But 2make is awesome. But damn, this was missing. Peak music really shows you the atmosphere of Raccoon City during this outbreak. It's a narrative tool. It shapes the player's experience. No, that shapes how the player experiences the world, how the player experiences the world. Characters and events. There we go. Okay. That's fine. Oh, this is actually the perfect song for this. Because think of the marshalling yard. You're in this whatever it is, a factory. It's yes, it's a factory, sort of. But just the atmosphere tells you a story. Yes, this works. Wow, this is actually wow. Thank you, based RNG. So spaces, sounds, and no, ambience. Ambience and absence. I really can't believe the song came on at the perfect moment to tell a story. Like this whole entire background tells you a story. It doesn't need any it doesn't need anything. It just shows you stuff has gone down. And the music helps too. Really can't believe they cut it out. It was used in Outbreak as well, but I'm just a random guy on YouTube. Tell a story. This conveys past events. Conveys past events. Past events. Experiences, trauma, and so forth. Trauma. In psychological states, well, it doesn't need to even say anything. You just what you're seeing, what you're hearing, it tells the story without any words. Okay. Horror games leverage this by having the environment as a co-author, in a sense. Okay, prime examples. we don't really need to go into much detail, but you get it. Like, the environment tells the story at the end of the day. And I guess, etc. We need a reason why. Okay, the usage of like empty corridors, dilapidated buildings, etc. Okay, all right, this is not bad. So the usage of empty areas, of empty settings, usage of empty settings. I can actually spell settings. Abandoned areas, and lingering environmental details. Yeah. Case in point being, the video I'm listening to right now has Jill in the smoke room fireplace area where you get the map in OG where you get the east wing. Is the east wing? Yeah, where you get the east wing second floor map. You remember that fireplace or the dining hall fireplace. Lingering environmental details. Or my favorite, the flame calms me. Or that's not verbatim, but that save room quote. Damn, I need to play Remake again. Oh no! It's Ada's gun. It's empty. It hits you so hard. Besides Annette dying. But no, this hits you so hard. This preps the player. No, I think we've gone in. We don't even need to put any more in this. All right. So let's look over the sections that I wrote today, and we'll. I think we're done. All right. So again, I do apologize for the late stream. I was asked to get granted streaming time today. Believe it or not. All right. Section 19: the fragility of sanity. Isolation wears down perception. Without human contact, the mind starts filling in the void. For example, creating voices, presences, and patterns that may not exist. Or weaponizing this vulnerability, turning loneliness into a loop of fear and imagination. Games often externalize mental collapse via distorted images, erratic sounds, and the usage of the unreliable narrator. Oh my god. Unreliable narrator. Amnesia, the Dark Descent, Daniel. Everything with Daniel. The player begins to question not just the game world, but themselves. Don't dig into this one, Chief. Too deep into that one. Mirroring the characters they guide. In isolation, horror becomes self-inflicted. Yup. Section 20. Isolation as a storytelling mechanism. Isolation isn't just a mechanic in a horror setting. It's a narrative tool that shapes how the player experiences the world, characters and events, spaces, ambience. In the absence of companions to tell a story, this conveys past events, experiences, trauma, and psychological states without any words. Horror leverages this by using the environment as a co-author in a sense. Examples of this are the Marshalling Yard. Shoutouts to the Marshalling Yard. In OGR2, every Silent Hill game's Fog and Otherworld. The setting of FNAF security breach. You're in the ruins of the Pizzaplex. And the usage of empty settings, abandoned areas, and lingering environmental details. Pretty much golden right there. Alright, good stuff. And again, I do apologize for the relatively late stream, but through the blessings of a base to God up there, I was given streaming time today, but I gotta go back to work in the next, 2 hours. So tomorrow we'll start the case studies finally, and we'll continue on from there. I got sprite animation in an hour. Be on the lookout for this stream tomorrow at the usual time because I'm off from work. Besides that, take care and we'll talk later. Bye-bye.